My ultralight hiking and fast packing kit has a base weight of 3.1 kilos. Now that's already very light, but with these gear upgrades, I've managed to save even more weight. Let's take a look. Now some of these gear upgrades are fairly minor and only save me a few grams, and some of these items actually add a little bit of weight to my kit, but I feel like the extra weight is worth it. Starting with my pack, this is the Salomon XA25. I actually made a video recently where I took this on a trail run, tested it out and used it, and I've also taken it on a recent fast packing trip. The features are slightly different compared to my Black Diamond Distance 22, and it's got 3 liters more capacity. This does come at a slight weight increase. We're looking at about 40 grams weight increase compared to my Black Diamond pack. Now I didn't upgrade to this one because I don't like my Black Diamond one. I'm a really big fan of it and it's worked really well for me so far, but I got a really great deal on this pack and wanted to try out something new. So this might not stay my main pack, fast packing forever. I might go back to the Black Diamond at some point, but for now, I'm using this one. Like with a lot of gear, it's got some pros and some cons when compared to other products. This bag does have a couple of features that I like more than my Black Diamond one, but then my Black Diamond one has a couple of features that I like more than this one. I do really like the big roll top on this pack. It's nice and simple and means I can get in and out of that pack really easily. It's also fully seam taped, and although it's not fully waterproof, it is very water resistant, which is really nice when I'm trying to protect my essentials from the weather. I do like that the vest is adjustable on the sides, and although I lose that side pocket, it does mean that if I've got extra layers on, I can loosen it up a bit or tighten it a little bit if I find it's bouncing around a lot when I'm moving quickly. I won't go into too much detail about this pack. If you do want to see it in more detail, you can watch my video about it up there. So that's my first gear upgrade, my pack. Adds a tiny little bit of weight, but I do get a few more liters of capacity, which is great if I want to carry extra food or water. Now this next gear upgrade, I'm pretty stoked about, and it's something I've actually wanted for quite a long time. I just never bothered to bite the bullet. Now I always hike in shorts, and for the longest time, I just carried a pair of thermal leggings or long johns as an extra layer for my legs. Now while I have found these really great and they're very comfy to wear, it's a bit of a pain having to take off my shoes, socks and shorts to put these on. They're also quite heavy, and although they do help to add a bit of warmth, they don't really do much against the wind. Speaking of the wind, here it is. Now in saying all this, I decided to upgrade to a pair of nylon wind pants. I bought these off Amazon and they're actually listed as dance pants for dancers to use to warm up in, but I'm using them for hiking. They're pretty simple with not a lot of features to them. They're basically just nylon material with an elasticated waist and elasticated cuffs around the end. They don't have any pockets or anything, but that's fine by me because it saves me on weight. Now the reason I wanted to change from my long johns to these is I find these are going to be a lot more versatile. I can easily slip them over my shorts and shoes and throw them on if I want a bit more protection or warmth from the wind. And although they're not waterproof, I can always throw them on if there's a light shower and I want to add a little bit more warmth to my legs. These are about half the weight of my long johns, and on the couple of trips that I've used these so far, I actually think they're a bit warmer than my long johns. Not only do they weigh very little, but they pack up to basically nothing. They can disappear in my pack. I won't even know they're there, but I can pull them out when I need them. I was super stoked to finally buy a pair of these, and they're going to be in my kit for the foreseeable future. For the past couple of years, I've been carrying this 10,000 milliamp hour power bank from Belkin. Now, although it's not the lightest power bank, it's also not the heaviest, and it's served me really well. But recently, I've been given the opportunity to try Nitecore's new power banks. So I've been able to try out their Nitecore NB Air, which is an ultralight 5,000 milliamp hour power bank. I actually made a video on this if you want to check it out up there. Now this power bank's great for short overnight trips where I don't need a lot of power. But on trips longer than an overnight, I'm going to want to carry a power bank with a little bit more juice so I know I can charge all my electronics. That's where the Nitecore NB10000 power bank comes in. This is their Gen 3 model and it offers 10,000 milliamp hours of capacity, but it only weighs 150 grams. If you've researched ultralight power banks, chances are you've probably heard of this one from Nitecore. It's quite well known and for a very good reason. It's a really high quality power bank and it's one of the lightest on the market for the capacity it offers. So it's got this really nice carbon fiber shell, and it's actually an anti-torsion shell, which means it's not going to twist or break easily, which adds to the durability of the power bank. It's also got these nice cushioned corners, which can help to protect the power bank if you bump it or drop it. So compared to my other power bank, it's a little bit smaller, a little bit slimmer, and definitely lighter. So I'm still gonna get the same battery capacity as my old power bank, but for a lighter weight and smaller form factor. And when I'm trying to cram all my gear in a tiny pack, the smaller the product, the better. This power bank has an on button and it's got 4 LED lights to indicate the battery level. It's also got 2 USB-C ports and it can deliver up to 22.5 watts of power. Now the double USB-C ports are really nice because it means I can charge 2 devices at once, or this power bank can act as a pass-through charger. So I can plug this into the wall and then plug my phone into it, and I can pass through charge and charge my phone, which means I don't need an extra wall plug or wall adapter to charge multiple devices. That's especially handy for thru hikers or people that are passing through towns and want to quickly top up their devices and not have to carry multiple wall plugs. I'm super stoked to have this power bank as part of my kit. I know it's reliable and it's well made, so I can trust it to charge my electronics, especially when I'm doing big distances out in the backcountry and I need to be able to rely on my gear. So while I'm going to be using the Nikkor NB Air for long day trips or short overnight missions, this NB10000 is definitely going to be finding a way into my pack on any trips longer than 2 days. This next gear upgrade is a very tiny one, and although it's not going to save a ton of weight, it's a crucial part of my kit. So I wear a Garmin smartwatch, and unfortunately this device requires a different type of charger compared to all my other devices. I can't use a micro USB and I can't use a USB Type-C connection. That's where this tiny little guy comes in. So instead of carrying a long dedicated cable just to charge my Garmin watch, I bought this little adapter. Now this little guy plugs onto the end of a USB-C connection, and with that I can charge my Garmin watch. It's super simple and really straightforward. I just plug one end into my power bank, and then on the other end, I connect that tiny little adapter, plug that in, and then I can charge my Garmin watch. Like I said before, it's not gonna save me a ton of weight, but it is nice to not have to carry an extra cable and helps to keep my electronics a little bit more organized within my pack. My plan is to also buy a similar adapter that has a micro USB connection on the end and plugs in via USB-C so that I can charge my other electronics like my head torch and Garmin InReach. It might not seem like massive weight savings, but you'd be surprised at how all the little things can add up. This last gear upgrade, I was really excited to buy, and I've been loving using it so far. And it's actually what's being used to film this video. Now the piece of gear in question is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Now I know a piece of camera gear isn't relevant to everybody's gear needs for hiking or fast packing, but for me, where I film pretty much every one of the trips that I go on, it's a pretty big deal. For the past couple of years, I've been using the Sony ZV-1, and for most of my fast packing trips, I was using a GoPro. Now I decided to upgrade to the Osmo Pocket because I feel like the image quality is better than an action camera, and I get better stabilization than my Sony ZV-1. I bought the Creator Combo, which comes with the extended battery grip, as well as the DJI Mic 2. I really feel like this has made a big improvement in not only the visual quality of my videos, but also the audio quality. If you've noticed an upgrade in some of my recent videos, I'd love to hear down below. Now the setup isn't perfect, doesn't really save me much weight, and it's not nearly as robust or weatherproof as something like an action camera. But I feel like I get better stabilization and better image quality from this camera. It's different to any other camera I've owned or used, and I feel like it's also helped with my creativity of getting different kinds of shots and filming videos. At some point in the future, I might also upgrade to DJI's action camera. That means I'll still be able to use the DJI mic with it, but I'll get a camera that can handle harsher conditions. It'll then mean I'll be able to pick and choose which camera I'll bring depending on the conditions. But that's something for later on. For now, I'm really happy with my Osmo Pocket. So those are all the gear upgrades I've made to my ultralight hiking and fast packing kit. Now, not all of them have saved me weight, but there's not always the goal when I'm upgrading gear. Sometimes I look to upgrade my gear to enhance my comfort or to improve the usability and function of a product. And although with my fast packing kit, I might be taking the ultralight idea to a bit more of an extreme, I do feel like all these gear upgrades have improved my kit. I'd love to hear what you think of my gear upgrades and whether you have any tips or ideas that could help me to improve my kit even further. Now these items have changed my kit a little bit, but if you did want to see what I packed in my fast packing bag, you can check out that video up there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.